Hello everyone and welcome to my What If series. This is my What If Deku Turned Evil Part 8. Last episode, we ended with Deku on his way to fight All Might's descendant, Togata Mirio, who will win this fight. Deku, who is only able to use around 6% of his power, or Mirio, who is the descendant of All Might and the new user of One For All. Let's check it out after the intro.
Body, baby, show me.
Okay, so, from the last episode, Deku was now faced with Togata Mirio in the arena. This fight will determine if Deku is worthy of All Might's helping Deku get into an internship. The fight had begun. Deku was staying still while watching what Mirio was going to do, but then Mirio disappeared, and, out of nowhere, Mirio hit Deku in the back. Deku didn't even see Mirio, and, when Deku turned around, once again, Mirio disappeared. While Deku was trying to figure out what Mirio's quirk was, he started to run into circles, going faster and faster, and yet, once again, Mirio shot up from behind and punching Deku way up into the sky. But Deku had activated his quirk before he was punched, so he didn't take any damage from the Mirio. This amazed Mirio. "Let's see how much damage you can take." Deku smiled, and then shouted at Mirio. "Come on, is that all you've got?" After Deku shouted that, with the amount of power he had, he kicked the air with enough force to propel himself against Mirio. Yet, Mirio disappeared. But, as Deku hit the ground, he noticed that on the crater he had made, he had seen Mirio going into the ground. This made Deku believe that Mirio's quirk would let him move into the ground, and Deku was now paying attention to every inch of the ground. Then, Deku saw Mirio's head showing up, but Deku quickly tried to kick him. But, his feet just passed through Mirio. This made Deku start getting angry, since he was unable to do anything. For now. Deku backed up a little, thinking of a way to defeat Mirio. But Mirio wasn't going to give that time to Deku, and so, out of nowhere, Mirio just shouted, "Detroit Smash!" and hit the air in front of him with such an amount of strength that pushed Deku out of bounds. "Midoriya Izuku, it's out of bounds. The winner is Togata Mirio!" Midoriya thought that he had hit his head. 2 quirks? There was someone just like him. After Deku got up, Mirio gave him a hand to help Deku out, but this only made Deku more furious. Then, All Might showed behind Mirio and told him that he had done a good job and that he could leave now. Then, All Might looked at Deku and, with a smile on his face, he told Deku the following. "Young Midoriya, I have seen your effort in battle. I shall sign you up with my old mentor, but be aware that my old mentor will not go easy on you. You shall do your best to learn from the experienced ones. Maybe you shall learn the way of the true heroes." After hearing that, Deku got up, went past All Might, and, before he left, he told All Might, "We shall see who needs to learn the way of the true heroes." On the way to his class, Deku stumbled upon All Might, who handed a letter and some papers to him. Then, All Might explained that he had contacted Gran Torino, and that he had accepted to train Deku, but he was going to push this young student way more than he ever did to All Might. Deku smirked and left, without saying a single word to All Might. Already at his desk, Deku read the letter that All Might had given him, which had the exact date and place where Deku would have to show up for his internship. Somehow, Deku felt a chill on his spine. He knew that something from that letter was off, when he saw that the man who was going to train him was an old man, but, for some reason, he was going to push him way more than he did to All Might. Deku thought that it wasn't an old man that was going to give him hell, and that All Might just wanted to scare him off, because of what Deku had already said to All Might. 2 days had passed, and Deku was on his way to meet Gran Torino. Deku didn't know if an old man would be even able to teach him anything, since he already knew what kind of strength he had to get. Deku knocked on the door, but no one answered. And, as Deku opened the door, a strange figure jumped and kicked Deku in the face, sending Deku flying over a long distance. As Deku was about to get up, Gran Torino stepped into Deku's face, and, with confidence, Grand Torino told the following to Deku.
So, you are the one that Toshinori told me about. You are even weaker than what I thought. Did you really think you had the strength to fight Toshinori?
Deku got furious at that. He powered up and tried to punch Grand Torino in the face, but it was in vain. Grand Torino dodged and punched Deku in the face with way more strength than that of Deku. Deku was out cold from that. How did an old man beat me? Some hours have passed, and when Deku woke up, he was in a train. He didn't know where he was going, but he knew that Grand Torino had defeated him, and was now taking Deku to some place. After a bit more time, they had arrived at the outskirts of Ozu City, to a plain area that was abandoned for quite some time. There was a single house that seemed beaten up from the weather and time, but somehow it did felt like there had been love and respect in that place. Grand Torino told Deku to leave his belongings inside and to get changed to his hero suit. Then he shall meet him in the back of the house. Deku didn't understand what was going on. What was happening with that old man? And yet he couldn't deny him. When Deku went to the back of the house, there was a huge crater. The crater itself was so big that it must have had a diameter of over 1 kilometer. Then, in the middle of the crater was Grand Torino, who shouted at Deku to rush over to where he was. Grand Torino told Deku that he knew what had happened, about the loss of his mother and how he had obtained and lost his power, and how Deku was regaining his power back, but it was still unable to be fully used. And so, with that in mind, Grand Torino's plan was to train Deku's body in a way which his body would have to remember his lost power, making Deku able to fully use his power again. For 2 days, Deku and Grand Torino fought with everything they had. Deku's body was remembering his power, and after each fight, Deku was able to grow stronger and stronger, and from Deku being able to use only 6% of his power, his body had adapted to Deku using over 20% freely. The crater had grown bigger and bigger, and then Deku had noticed why the crater was so big before. That was the place All Might had trained in the past to get his strength, and the size of the crater showed how strong he had got in his training. So Deku wanted to get stronger and made the crater at least 5 times the size of it. He wanted to take down All Might with everything he had, but the time had ended. Grand Torino is already way too old. He couldn't keep up with Deku, yet he was happy with Deku. Even though he had been way more aggressive to Deku than what he had been to All Might, he knew that Deku had the potential to become someone strong, but he couldn't keep up with him. And so he told Deku to train on his own to get his power back to what it was. But now the time to go back had arrived, and so Deku packed his belongings and they headed to the subway. Deku was tired from all the training he had done. He couldn't wait to finally be able to rest for a while. But as soon as Deku finished thinking that, out of nowhere, a Nomu had attacked the train he was on. Deku immediately punched the Nomu, blowing his head away. He didn't even have time to know what happened. But when Grand Torino saw Deku's eyes, they had such a dark aura, it's almost as if he had been possessed. Deku knew that if a Nomu was there, then Shigaraki had to be nearby, and so he jumped out of the train, going faster than the eye can see, in search of Shigaraki. Deku was following the Nomus, killing them all in the instant he saw them. The heroes that were fighting the Nomus didn't even have time to react when Deku punched the heads out of the Nomus. Then, out of nowhere, Deku heard a scream from a alley, in which he was sure that Shigaraki was over there. When he got to the alley, he found Ida Tenya, his classmate, which was on the floor with someone about to kill him. Deku didn't even hesitate, and jumped, kicking the villain that was about to kill Ida, but somehow the villain had been able to get up. Deku asked Ida what was going on, and out of nowhere, Ida told Deku not to do anything. This had nothing to do with him. He had to avenge his brother for what the hero killer had done to him. Deku just smirked, and told Ida that he didn't care for his revenge. He was going to defeat that villain and find Shigaraki. With that, Deku jumped at the hero killer. He was trying his best, but at 20% of his light power, his speed was about only the same of the hero killer. Doing the best he could, Deku managed to hit Stain with enough strength to put him on his knees. Then, Deku shouted at the hero killer, "Where's Shiraki? I know you are working with him!" Laughing so hard, the hero killer told Deku that he would never work with him. Shigaraki was not who he wanted, and all he wanted was to kill all the heroes except All Might, because he was the only true hero. Hearing this made Deku's rage go even higher. All Might, a true hero! Don't make me laugh! All Might is not a hero. He is the purest trash that is. I'll become the true hero, the best of them all. And so, Deku jumped at Stain, kicking his head off his body, leaving his inanimate body on the ground. And as soon as Deku had finished Stain, he left on the search for Shigaraki. But when he was about to give up, he noticed that Shigaraki was standing at the top of a tower, and without even thinking, Deku jumped so hard at him that a huge crater and a huge shockwave sent most of the cars flying. And now, Deku is face to face with Shigaraki, the one who had killed his mother. Well guys, I really hope you liked this episode. I am doing my best to bring you guys episodes. I didn't have a computer for a long time and I was finally able to save some money to build one again. Although it's not the best, but at least I can bring some videos to you guys. Well, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to my channel. I hope we can get over 4,500 subs until the end of the week. And also don't forget to hit the bell icon, which will help you guys know whenever I upload. But that's pretty much it. My name's Kibo, and goodbye.